Good morning. Welcome to Homestead Hopes. So today I wanted to give you some tips and tricks in this extreme heat on how to properly water your garden. My first tip is water very first thing in the morning. As you can see, I've got my sprinkler going. It's about 8:15 a.m. Central Time here in Oklahoma. And I'm trying to go ahead and get those plants watered in for the day because I don't want to water in the middle of the day when it's at the hottest point. So around 2 p.m. today, we're going to have a high of about 88 degrees. However, our heat index will be close to 100. So if I chose to water around 2 p.m., then that means the water beads will be setting on the leaves of the plants and will potentially act as a magnifying glass that will burn my leaves. So that's why I'm choosing to water first thing in the morning. And you want to get in there and really get those roots. So on this area of the garden, I do feel the sprinkler over here, but I want to make sure and get these zucchinis and tomatillo plants extra covered of water. And I'm trying to focus on the roots of the plants so I can definitely be sure that the water goes where it needs to so that plant can get the added nutrition it needs for the day. Good morning, it's the next day, and I actually waited a little later than I did yesterday to water. It's about 10 a.m. here right now, so it is getting a little warm out. It shouldn't hurt anything. I am going to go ahead and water just lightly because we are expecting some rain showers tonight, so I don't feel like I have to really saturate the ground as much. But yeah, I'm gonna get these guys watered. Now, one thing about the way that we water is we have well water. So that means that when I turn this on, sometimes the water can be pretty hot. So I try to let the water run out a little bit before I use it, so it will finally just cool down, because that water is coming from underground, so it absorbs the heat just like the plants do. So I've also got some updates on my plants. I know last week I was really upset with the way everything was growing and kind of getting discouraged, but things are so much better this week. I don't know if it was the weeding of the plants that helped so much, the watering on a schedule every morning that I've been doing and putting into place. I don't know what it was, but everything's doing fantastic. The squash is still struggling. We still have the squash bugs, and I have found some baby ones. So I've just been doing what I know to do, which is pull off the big ones, get rid of the eggs on the leaves. Even if you have to pull the whole leaf and stem off, sometimes I have to do that. So squash plants actually rejuvenate so quickly. They are able to heal themselves almost out of anything that happens to them. The only thing that they can't heal is if they get some sort of a vine borer in their main stem and it eats the plant from the inside out, so it can't heal itself. Anyways, I'm getting off topic, but if you'll notice, our onions are doing better. They're getting bigger. We only have 2 cabbages this year. They're doing really well, even with this heat. I cannot believe it, but they are. But I don't know if you can see this or not, but this row right here is lettuce. And if you look at the very end of the row, do you see how tall that one is? It's this one right here. Now, I wanted to address this issue in case someone doesn't know this. This plant is my best lettuce. It's big, it's green, it's lush, but there is a problem with it, and here's what the problem is. So the problem with this lettuce getting so big like this, yes, it's pretty, yes, it looks nice, but these leaves down here will be very bitter whenever you trim them off to eat them. And most of the time you won't be able to eat them in a salad because they'll be so bitter it won't taste good. And you'll have to wilt them and cook them to be able to even consume them. So it's always important to try and catch the plant before it gets about this tall. We need to start going ahead and taking the leaves off as it grows. And we don't snap the entire top of the plant off. You just pull the leaves and it will just do the rest and continue to put new leaves on so you can keep eating the lettuce or however you want to prepare it. So I actually got quite a surprise. I was under the impression when I planted seeds to put in my kitchen window to grow little starts to bring out here and put in the garden, I thought I had planted pepper plant seeds, and I was wrong. This is a tomatillo plant, which I've never grown tomatillo before. So I'm really excited to see the progress. It's growing wonderfully. It's so strong. It doesn't even really need this tomato cage to be able to support it. It's doing everything on its own. And these flowers are signifying the tomatillos that are going to be putting on this plant soon. So I am super excited to share with you guys what comes off of these plants, and I've got two here that are mature enough to start making the tomatillos, and two up there that are just small little guys. But I think it's really cool to be able to see something like this grow in a garden that I didn't even know I planted. Okay guys, so it is another day. We did get the rain that we were projected to get yesterday, so it rained really well around here. Everything's pretty saturated. So today we're also going to be installing our drip system. Now if you remember right, I told you there's several different ways that you can properly water your garden. I'm choosing to do a drip system because I'm a lazy gardener and I don't want to come out every day and have to water at certain times of the day. So I am doing my watering with the drip system. You can easily use just a hose with a sprinkler and walk by and individually spray your plants. You can use a sprinkler overhead or in the ground, on the ground, to water the plants. It's just whatever works for you, and this works for me. Okay guys, so we are installing our little irrigation system now. Here's the little paperwork that came with it. However, my husband is so smart, he does not use instructions. Anyways, we are hooking the main line to our water spigot, okay? So he's left some line kind of coiled up around the hose reel up there that will for sure stretch to the spigot. Then he has stretched out the main line here. Now this is just temporarily till we get all the smaller lines hooked to this main line. The smaller lines are going to come off of this main one and go and distribute all around to each and every plant. Finally, those smaller lines come out to a little sprinkler. Now, I realize I've been calling this a drip irrigation system. It's technically not. It's more of just a irrigation system because these little things here are going to have sprinklers on them. So our hopes are that one of these will water 2 to 3 plants each. So We're not sure. We're just trying it to see. That sprinkler is then fed into a splitter. Here's our splitter. It's got 3 different outlets, so we can continue running one line one way, another line the other way, and another line to the next row in our garden, which will end up at our next row of plants. In this case, it would be going from our tomatoes to our peppers. All right, so my husband's over there. Before we get too far into this, he wants to turn it on and test it just to make sure everything's working as it should. So let's see how it works. All right, so they're working.
That one just meant to drip out like that though.
So we changed nozzles. This one sprays more of like a shower rather than the 5 to 6 little streams of water that come out. This one does like a misting function.